Okay. So how does it feel to return back to the lovable franchise movie of How to Train Your Dragon?
I mean, it feels very familiar and great, and the nice thing about this world is it keeps on going. So I find it easy to tell stories within this world, just because the new lands, the new cultures, the new dragons that they discover, now that they're all flying on the backs of dragons, makes it go on and on.
And how does it feel for you?
Well, for me, I never left because I've been doing the TV show in between the two movies, so I've been playing Hiccup consistently for the past 5 years. So it was just, it was just a continuation of where I've been at already.
Now there is a mention of new dragons. Obviously, that's what we expect. So tell us some of these possible new dragons.
Well, one thing that we set up in the first movie is that every nest has a queen dragon that the other dragons serve. And so part of this second movie is revealing that that's not the end of the hierarchy, that there are dragons beyond that. And we introduce the idea of the king of all dragons, an alpha that can control other dragons by forcing its will upon them. And that's a really interesting kind of way to go. And so we've been fleshing it out. Hiccup actually finds another mysterious dragon rider played by Kate Blanchett, who lives in a kind of a sanctuary that houses thousands of different dragons. Mm-hmm. And we've been able to really kind of go crazy with different designs. And we always reference some kind of animal in the real world. And so we've been pairing them with all sorts of different owls or like a walrus or that kind of thing, and just trying to get as much believable personality into them as possible.
Now, your character, the first one, was much more of like a self-discovery, trying to find himself, but obviously the sequel, you can't do that again. So how is this character being handled this second time around?
Well, it's just sort of, the first one is more about what it is to be kind of a square peg, to be a kid that's wired different than everyone else. This one, to me, it's more Hiccup's, I don't want to say struggle, but what he's dealing with is kind of what I think a lot of high school kids deal with when they leave high school, which is how do they find a way to balance everything that they want to do with everything that their parents expect of them. And that's so it's a combination between passion and obligation, and that's where sort of Hiccup's conflict lies.
Now, one last question. I just wanted to point out that, a lot of children love this movie, but there's a lot of adults love this movie. So how did you guys create that magic to make adults love this movie so much?
I think, I'll speak on his behalf and say that he wrote a heck of a movie and directed a heck of a movie. A good movie is a good movie, and the best ones can appeal to everyone. And he made it personal, and in making it personal, he made it universal.
I think the secret is we don't write for children. We're very mindful not to exclude children, but we try to write for ourselves. We're trying to make the movie that we would want to see. And the good thing is that we're all just a bunch of big kids, working in animation anyway. So I think it's a movie that will continue to appeal to the broadest audience because it never panders to a young one.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, a friend of mine who's a grown woman just bought the How to Train Your Dragon bed sheets for herself.
Hey, fantastic news. She has impeccable taste in bed sheets.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Thanks very much for having us.
Thank you.
Space Channel.